Have you been stuck on the screen when you open up Omniverse Create or Omniverse Code? I don't think Omniverse Code happens as much, but Create, aka USD Composer, happens quite often for me. This page is stuck black. No matter how you change your RTX, it doesn't come up. You could have it work a little bit in Pixar Storm, like so, and you could change your light however you see, however works for your scene, but not long after, you're going to bump into a crash. Now, what I want to let you know is these are all the symptom of one thing. A hint of that could be found inside your console. Let's open this up. And this should crash at some point, which I've experimented several times and it happened without exception. So you could see that there are exclamation mark / errors that says unsupported non-RTX GPU. And then it tells you what your graphics card is. And then down you see error message that says no device could be created. And then also just a bunch of errors talking about Vulkan. This all points to one issue. That means your graphics card is not good enough, pretty much. It doesn't mean that it's not expensive enough. It means that it's not good enough. It doesn't support RTX. While we wait for it to crash, and when it crashes, it usually either is like some sort of an overload, and you'll see a wiggly screen here, all with jumbled, not even readable messages. Oh, there we go. That's the crash. And after that crash, you pretty much can't do anything with the program. It just crashes. And not long after, oh, there we go. That's the close. So here I have the system's requirement for NVIDIA Omniverse pulled up, because it took me the hard way to find out that I do not have a good enough specification for my GPU. Mine is a GeForce, not RTX, but GeForce 1080. The lowest that's acceptable is a GeForce RTX 2070, and a sort of just the middle level one is the Quadro RTX 6000. So there you go. I just looked up the price too. So this price, the price for this graphics card, is actually roughly the same price as what I have, which is surprisingly, I wished I would have known that, 5 years later we're gonna have an Omniverse come out, but I didn't know, and I didn't know the importance of ray tracing. So RTX stands for ray tracing, I think. Long story short, I don't know what else I could do about this, but I do know that in my experiment, even if my USD Composer / Create, Omniverse Create, crashes, I could still do what I want to do, which is creating extensions and apps through Omniverse Code, because it would seem that code is lighter and it may or may not be forced to load up ray tracing renders. So when I create new extensions or apps, I could still get code to do the job. And I'm just going to open that just to demonstrate. Takes a minute to open. All right, here we go. So it still would, let's see if anything happens. Stage light. I could actually, I remember, how did I do this? Okay, I created a cube. I could create a cube. So this is, this actually was not quite possible in USD Composer with a lower graphics card, but I can do that here, and I haven't seemed to encounter a crash. But now you know, if you want to develop in Omniverse, make sure your graphics card is high enough. And then second is, if it's not high enough, in the meantime, you could use code and make sure everything is simple and minimal and not using RTX, or else you're going to bump into problems. So that's that. Happy coding!